So at this time, we're going to go to opening statements. So on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan, Ms. Mitch.
Thank you, everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very straightforward case. This is an operating while intoxicated case. We're going to hear from Trooper Hinton, with the trooper with the Michigan State Police. He is going to talk to you about a traffic stop that he made that turned into an arrest of Mr. Johnson for operating while intoxicated. He will take you through the field sobriety tests that he conducted with him that to him showed that Mr. Johnson was intoxicated. He will take you through the stop itself. And I will play you some video of these as well, so that you were able to put Trooper Hinton's words into an actual visual on the screen. And we'll make sure that everyone can see the screen as well, that everyone. You will also hear from Mr. Paul Ham. Mr. Ham is an RN with McLaren Hospital. There was a blood draw that was done in this case to establish if there was alcohol in Mr. Johnson's blood. And Mr. Ham is really here to talk about what he does in regards to these blood draws, just to give you, kind of a visual of what happens. And we'll finally hear from Mr. Ryan Gifford. He is employed with the Michigan State Police Toxicology Lab. And he is going to take you through essentially what happens when a blood sample is collected from someone who is suspected of drunk driving, what his role is, what he does, and how he analyzes that blood for the presence or non-presence of alcohol. And what will happen is you will hear his testimony, and you will also receive his report that was authored, which showed that Mr. Johnson, at the time the blood was taken, had a blood alcohol content level, or a BAC level, as we like to abbreviate it to, of 0.112. And again, he will go ahead and take you.
All right, as you can see, I'm not set up yet. I'll get there, but I just went from the other long stream to this one. We'll see what happens, but this looks like it might be interesting. I'm starting with opening arguments.
For really the scientific version of all that, because I am not a scientist, so he will be able to explain it much better than I can. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very straightforward case. We are here because Mr. Johnson chose it. Mr. Johnson chose to drink, chose to get behind the wheel of a car, and he chose to drive that car. He chose, again, to do this on a highway that being 8 Mile, that is open to the public, which was being accessed by people of the public. Something very important that's a little rare in this instance, and Judge Johnson did already reiterate it, is that this
He might have hit Eminem, I'm not sure.
court is technically for the city of Southfield. That has been established. However, jurisdiction is correct if something happens within 1 mile of that jurisdiction. That means that Mr. Johnson, which in this case he was, on the Detroit side of 8 Mile, Southfield has that jurisdiction because it is within 1 mile of this jurisdiction itself. And Trooper Hinson will, of course, help you visualize at least. Got one side of 8 Mile, you've got a median, you could throw a rock to the other side. It's within that 1 mile range. Therefore, jurisdiction here is correct. Again, there is that instruction that was already read, and you will, of course, be given it at the end as well. Now, given all of that, ladies and gentlemen, I am hopeful at the end of this trial that you will find Mr. Johnson guilty of intoxicated, and I will leave it as that so we can get into the evidence.
Thank you, Ms. Mitch. Mr. Johnson, would you like to make an opening statement now or wait? Okay, go ahead.
Heard. One side of Southfield, one side. Have you ever been anywhere? Somebody told you somewhere you wasn't?
Something you.
Hey. So I've been shot in the leg, so first thing was right text. They don't know nothing about They don't know about me having diabetes, they don't know about me being shot. So a lot of stuff's gonna come up.
Your Honor, I don't make it a point of objecting during opening statements, but none of this information was given to
We don't have anything.
counsel or wasn't in the report or anything. It's just coming out now.
Okay, so what is it, Mr. Johnson? If she has an objection to your, some of your
That's the
comments.
opening statement. I mean, that's right.
I know it's very rare, but sometimes if they have no information on what you're talking about, they might object to it because it's,
I object to her saying that, yeah, I'm guilty.
no. That's what she has to prove. She's objecting to the fact that some factual information you're giving the juror, it's never been presented. You have to share information between both parties. And so she's objecting to that being presented because you have not ever discussed that or given any information.
Well-
So continue on. And I don't know, but I'm thinking the part about the
Yeah.
right, that you probably want to not discuss because it,
That can also spike my, I call that.
okay. Well, if you got a witness that's going to testify, I guess we won't stop the witness and we'll see.
The witness that comes in, I will cross-examine them.
Okay, now you can do that.
Like I was saying. I will present that and I will also question them, and you'll see that alcohol level will be changed by your levity. Other than that, it's pretty much straightforward. The only thing they have is blood alcohol level. Which I will contest when it's time. Where I was pulled over at, y'all see in the video. So, and of that. Oh, part of the statements that the officer wrote, I mean, in here, I would want him to read them. Like, that's it.
Okay. All right. Oh, she. All right. So, Ms. Mitch, are you prepared to call your first witness?
I am, Your Honor, thank you. The people have called Trooper Cleo Henson with the Michigan State Police, and we will go out and call in just.
Wait till the prosecutor comes back. So she has the right to hear what you're going to say. Okay, so just wait a minute. Yeah, coming up this way, Trooper, watch your step up that ramp. And when you get there, raise your right hand for your oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, and have a seat there. And whenever you're ready, Ms. Mitch.
Thank you, Your Honor. No, you're good. Thanks, Mrs. Minister, for your mouth. All right, sir, can you please state your full name for the court reporter?
Trooper Cleo Henson.
And can you spell that?
First name is spelled A-L-E. Last name is spelled H-I-N.
Thank you. And Trooper, how were you employed?
I'll do the statements.
Would that be for, say, Michigan State Police?
Yes.
Thank you. And how long have you been a trooper with the Michigan State Police?
Just under 7 years.
Thank you. Any experience before then?
Not law enforcement.
Understood. Now, Trooper, have you received any training as it relates to investigating drivers of suspected drunk driving?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you been trained of what to look out for, what to observe of these suspected drivers?
Yes.
Can you just take us through a couple of those that what you look for?
So we're trained in standardized field sobriety tests. Primarily what I look for is the ways people drive, the behaviors when we're driving. Being able to maintain like one lane of travel. Also, signs of impairment such as glossy eyes or emitting alcohol, vehicle or the person step out.
Understood, that would be during a traffic stop?
Yes.
Trooper, approximately how many times, and this is just, I know it's been 7 years, rough estimate, have you stopped a driver that you suspected of drunk driving?
Estimate, it might even be under, I'd probably say over 200.
And Trooper, do you, or have you arrested every single person that you initially suspected of drunk driving? Okay. And silly question, but why is that?
It's a suspicion that I may have, and the standardized field sobriety test, no clues that you observe, and enough clues were noted to lead you to believe they were impaired or intoxicated.
So is it fair to say that you would conduct an investigation before making the ultimate decision to arrest someone for drunk driving?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been trained in how to run these investigations, specifically field sobriety tests?
Yes.
And being trained, I mean, have you attended trainings?
Yes.
And again, approximately, I'm gonna say probably the 200 that you said before, but how many times have you run field sobriety tests with a suspected drunk driver?
I think well over 400.
Understood. And when I say you attended trainings, were these specialized trainings specifically for field sobriety tests? To show you specifically how to like complete them? Is that fair to say? Okay. Now, I'm gonna jump a little ahead here. I'm gonna draw your attention to December the 20th of 2023. So it's a little further back, but at approximately 11:30 p.m. Do you recall that you were working in your official capacity as a trooper with the Michigan State Police on that date and around that time? And around that time, what were you doing?
I was on patrol around 8 miles.
Okay, do you recall what side of 8 Mile you were on?
I was on the Wayne County side.
Understood. And did anything catch your attention?
Yes, a vehicle that surpassed my vehicle at a high risk.
I'm sorry. What is the speed limit on 8 Mile?
At certain points it's 40, location where we were was 45.
Understood. And you stated that you were on the Wayne County side. Does that, butt up to the Oakland County side?
Yes, there's just a median.
Okay, so just, I know, probably know what a median is, but just for the record, how far between the two would you say the distance is? Is it within a mile, let's say?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Would it be within feet?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now, when you witnessed this, well, I should say this, were you driving a patrol vehicle at this time?
Yes.
And when you were driving this vehicle, is it fair to say that's when you witnessed this driver pass you?
Yes.
Now, what did you do given that, given what you saw?
Once I seen the vehicle pass by my vehicle at a high rate of speed, we have an in-car radar and it looks in front of our vehicle and looks in the rear. Since the car surpassed my car and I was going about 45 miles an hour, I activated that radar and I seen the speed reading of that.
What was the speed of reading of that vehicle?
I was over 7.
Okay. And was that a speed that was consistent as you were behind this vehicle?
Yes.
And did you have to speed up your vehicle to reach up to this vehicle? Okay. I first want to ask, is this part of 8 Mile, is that stretch of highway or road open to the public?
Yes.
Were there other motorists on the road at this time?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, when you were able to track that radar using over 70 miles an hour, what did you do next?
I then had to accelerate my vehicle to catch up to the vehicle. Doing so, I then reaffirmed speed of the vehicle, and I paced that vehicle going 65 miles an hour. And that my vehicle wasn't moving further away from that vehicle, and it was still the same distance from that vehicle that I was looking at. And I reaffirmed that by looking at my speedometer, it said 65 miles an hour.
Understood. And Trooper, do you have dash cam?
I-
Okay. When I mean dash cam, I mean a camera on the front of your car that can observe what's going on in front of you. Your Honor, I am looking to play my People Exhibit 1. I just need to be on the screen.
Oh, you know what? We have to do that. I'm saying here. Cute, right?
I like Jennifer.
Up here, right? Right, left top. Yep. Got it.
And I should ask, can everyone see the screen right here?
If you cannot see, feel free to step outside and step over maybe that way so you don't block your other jurors. Yeah, you got all the remotes. I couldn't do it. I'll take it. After you get it going.
Do we have to do something to the volume? I can't remember.
Well, let's do this. Well, this doesn't have volume. I believe that my computer
You gotta
controlled the
pump up the
volume.
volume. Pump up the volume.
Gotcha.
Pump up the
Thank
volume.
you. Trooper, I know you're looking behind you.
Do you need to step up? Okay.
Do you recognize this still shot right here? And do you recognize this as being the dash cam the day of this incident on December the 20th of 2023 as you were driving down 8 Mile?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I play it?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
I mean, you can't see much, but it's there, top left. Seriously? Hector, you think I know how to do that?
Okay, now Trooper, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video that your dash cam picked up the day of this incident with Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
And I played it without context, being like, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, just so we can go through it again, but I wanted to make sure that was the correct video, okay? I know I've already played it for the jury, but I guess for evidence purposes, may I publish it to the jury or may I admit it as a People's Exhibit number 1?
Any objection?
None at all.
All right. Then, this exhibit is admitted. Exhibit 1, video.
Thank you. Now, before I play it, Trooper, this was the start of
I'm shocked we didn't get an objection. It was the right call. I'm shocked.
the dash cam that I in particular have. What activates your dash cam?
I can either manually activate it, there's a display, it's literally right below our light. Guess the lane is like kind of close to my ear, but it's right above. So I can press the button to activate it, or I can put the switch in my car, which activates my emergency overhead lights. It's this thing, it's my body cam, it also activates my car camera. Faces the passenger seat, panoramic camera that goes in front of the car, it's the dash cam that you see.
Understood. Excuse me. And this orange vehicle that we see here on the screen, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the vehicle that Mr. Johnson was driving the day of this incident?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the vehicle that you stated before that you had seen drive past you at a high rate of speed? Okay, so. And just to confirm as well, you are driving this patrol vehicle, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, at this point, Trooper, as we're watching this and you're in your patrol vehicle, what are you doing here?
At this point, I'm pacing to be there at 65 miles an hour.
And would it be fair to say you know this, like you stated before, given your speedometer in your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And again, Trooper, do we see other cars here that are on the road at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it right here for just a moment. I saw that your lights were activated right there. Why at that point had you activated your lights?
Keep the public safe.
Okay, at this point, were you initiating a traffic stop?
Yes.
I'm not gonna play the rest, the jury has already seen the rest, it's just the whole stop. Sorry. I should warn you, Mr. Roberts, that I have probably 5 other videos, so I'm gonna make you get up and move, and I'm so sorry. Now, Trooper, I believe that we can already establish from the video, but what type of vehicle were you driving?
The 2019 Fast Charge.
Understood, and is that a vehicle that was provided to you by the Michigan State Police? Is it a marked vehicle? I mean, does it say Michigan State Police on it?
Yes, fully.
Understood, and does it have operational sirens as well as lights?
Yes.
And would you have been wearing, let's say, the same thing you're wearing now, your uniform as a trooper? And your uniform, is it typically marked with the fact that you are a trooper with the Michigan State Police? Now, we've seen in the video the vehicle did come to a stop. It appears to be at a gas station. What did you do once you were both stopped? You being in the patrol vehicle in this car in front of you, what did you do next?
Then made contact with the driver.
Do you see the driver of that vehicle in court today?
Yes, sir.
Can you please just point towards him and describe him that he is wearing?
Yeah, sit at the table, the road, wearing whites.
Thank you, Your Honor. May the record please reflect ID of Mr. Jones.
So ordered. The record should reflect identification of the defendant.
Thank you. And Trooper, were you able to speak to Mr. Johnson when you approached the vehicle?
Oh,
Did you ask him any questions?
yes.
Did you observe anything specific about him that stood out to you as you were speaking to him? And what were those?
Slurred speech and, were blasting, lawful.
Right, and as you've stated before, these typical signs of someone who possibly is intoxicated.
Yes.
Thank you. Give her a minute, let me look behind you. That's kind of bad. There we go. Do you recognize this as being a body cam?
Yes.
Would this have been body cam from the day of the incident on December the 20th of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
This right hand we see right there. Is that your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And, Your Honor, may I play this for the jury?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's fine. I'm gonna wait till after we finish with this.
How we doing? Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Trooper Information State Police. We're gonna stop here to speed, okay? Oh, I wouldn't speed that fast. I wasn't going that fast. I just seen when I just hit there, I was moving over. Excuse me? You said you weren't going fast? Oh. You wanna put down the window, come back, you got the window down? That's my partner, how fast you was going. How fast was you?
7.
Over 7 what?
Over 7. Over 7.
So 45. Well, what do you? No, you was going over 70, so that's why we stopped, okay? And we don't just stop people, they stop our opinions, it's all facts, okay? So that's not really helping you out right now by you saying that you wasn't speeding. That's not normal for you to tell us that you wasn't speeding when you had the engine. And I was going 75 right behind you, facing you as well, okay? See what I'm coming from? Yes, sir. All right, you got your license on you? No, I don't have a license. Okay. Your CPR order by chance? No. Okay, so no weapons should be in the car at all, right? No. Okay, no illegal substances, drugs, anything like that, not trying to clean your ass and everybody, okay? Nothing like coke? No coke? All right, like I said, I gotta ask these questions, no coke, right? Nothing. No meth? Water. Crack cocaine? Water. All right, that's just questions I gotta ask. You know, water in this thing. What's coming from right now? Oh. Oh. Okay. Any alcoholic beverage consumed today while you're home? Yeah. Okay. I just want you to look at me, okay? Tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Can you see it? You're looking at me, okay? Tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Keep your hands still. Oh, tip of my finger. Just your hands there. You understand that?
How much alcohol have you had today, sir? I've been doing this job for a while, okay, your eyes is jumping back. Indicator to me that you consume some kind of alcohol today, okay? Negative. No alcohol at all? Negative. Go ahead and step out for me, okay? All right. Be honest, man. How much have you had to drinks, man? You definitely lying to me. We're gonna be out here in the cold for a while, okay? Come on, I got my coat on. You got your coat on? Huh? You got my coat on.
Sorry, but for most of that video, Mr. Johnson was laughing. I understand if he thinks this is amusing, but the jury does need to hear what's going on the screen. If he could refrain from laughing during it,
And Mr. Johnson, try to contain yourself. Go ahead.
thank you. Trooper, we did just watch, 2
Simmer.
minute and 19 second clip of your initial interaction with Mr. Johnson. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of your body cam, what was happening on scene that night? On December 20th. Thank you. Your Honor, the people move to omit people's proposed exhibit number 2, that being this particular body cam footage.
Any objection
What, you,
to it being admitted?
yes,
Guess what?
submit.
Oh, okay, then it's admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper, in this video, we hear Mr. Johnson say that he does not have a license. Were you able to confirm that at any point during the investigation? Or did I hear that correctly? I guess if not.
Stated he did not have a license. Later after. Firm, kind of restricted.
For a license in particular?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, when Mr. Johnson had exited out of the vehicle at this point, what were you able to observe about him? We're actually let's go back a little further. In this video, we see you holding your finger up. So you're asking Mr. Johnson to stare at your finger. Why are you doing that? What is that?
So checking for nystagmus.
For
What
those
that
people who don't know, what is nystagmus?
So nystagmus, definition of nystagmus, voluntary urine.
And through your training and experience, is it known that people who may have consumed alcohol have this type of jerkiness in their eyes or have this nystagmus? Okay. And is this something that you observed with Mr. Johnson? Would this have been an indicator to you that he was intoxicated? Is it fair to say that's why you had asked him to exit the vehicle? Okay. Now, moving forward a little bit, as Mr. Johnson exiting the vehicle, what are you observing about him and his person that caused suspicion, if anything?
Main thing I observed is once again lost in the last line. Awful smell, hot, first, lost it, alcohol. Speech was slurred. Jeez. Great evidence.
And how close were you? I know we can see in the video, but just for the record, how close were you standing to Mr. Johnson when you were able to observe all of this?
Approximately.
So fair to say you were pretty close. Okay. Now, given all of this, what did you decide to do?
I decided to administer a standardized field sobriety.
Okay, in our standardized field sobriety test, so as we agree with the FSTs, are they part of a typical OWI or operating while intoxicated investigation? And again, have you been trained on how to conduct field sobriety?
Yes.
Did you go to what's called an advanced roadside impaired driving enforcement class?
Yes.
Read this book?
Yes.
Okay. And again, have you received numerous trainings in this? How many times, again, would you say that you have conducted field sobriety tests? What people do you feel are you suspect of drug driving?
Over 400.
Understood. Thank you. What is the first test that you conducted with Mr. Johnson?
So it was HGN, which stands for horizontal gaze sag.
Now, I know we've already talked about nystagmus. Is this different from what you did in the car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Just in general, what exactly is the horizontal gaze, nystagmus or the H-chan?
Would you like me to break that?
Yes, please.
So, what we look for are clues, that's what we call them. Total of clues that is observed, horizontal gaze, not saying. So it starts off with, call it the lack of smooth pursuit. So you can observe two clues, one at a time. Then next is probably the steam and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation. Once again, observe one clue in each eye, both eyes, two more clues. Then the last one, onset of nystagmus prior to 45. And once again, observe one clue in each eye, which were two.
And we're gonna break down those clues real fast, but how many clues did Mr. Johnson exhibit from what you were able to conclude from that test?
6 out of 6.
Okay. Now, when you say lack of smooth pursuit, what do you mean by it? What are you looking for?
So you're looking for eye as you move your finger from front of his nose, mine is right now. And you're just having that person follow your finger, sentence, called tip of your finger. And what you're looking for is you're moving that finger, you're observing their eyes, sure that it's moving smooth. And a lack of smooth pursuit means like the eye is following.
Understood. Is someone supposed to move their head during this test?
No.
Is someone instructed not to move their head during this test? Understood. Now, you said that could be a clue for both eyes.
Yes.
So that's 1 and 2. The third clue, and again, you're not to repeat it for me because it is these terms that not all of us know.
Yes.
What was that again?
The third one was the onset of nystagmus prior to 45.
And what are we talking about there? What are you looking for there?
So once again, the stimulus is the tip of your finger, approximately 12 to 15 inches from the nose. First, you start off with persevere administration. Start off with their left eye, so which means taking from the front of my nose, and I gradually go slow towards that left eye first. As I start taking it over towards corner of like where their eyebrow ends at, so you want to get it to 45 degrees. But you see the eye jerk before it gets to 45 degrees, stop. Hold the stimulus still. You should be able to observe the eye jerk. So you would hold that for approximately 4 to 6 seconds. Do that each time.
Okay. And does this jerking indicate something to you?
Yes.
What is that? A clue to, would it be impairment? Okay. That last clue was the distinct and sustained, you said. Again, for those of us who don't know, what is that?
So that one is pretty similar to what I just explained, but once again, you're holding that stimulus approximately 12 to 15 inches from the nose. It's at my fingers, you can see here. Once again, you start off with the left eye. And take the stimulus over. And you're taking it over to the corner of their eye. So their eye should be all the way looking at that stimulus and 4 to 6 seconds. And at 4 to 6 seconds, if they're impaired or impaired, you should be able to see my sadness, eyes jerking.
Understood. And your testimony today is after conducting this particular test, you saw all 6 clues that you would look for impairment for Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Now, before conducting this test with Mr. Johnson, did you give him directions of what you were going to do?
Yes.
Did you have to repeat those instructions at all?
I'm sure.
Okay, remember. would Mr. Johnson have given you the okay that he understood them? And, how long does this test normally take? Is it something that takes a couple of seconds, something that, depending on the person, can take longer?
It depends on the person, but, usually the last approximately.
Okay.
Last approximately.
Okay, and that is if you're really looking for the clues, correct? Okay. Now, I did just preemptively start the video so we can move on, but I'm sorry about the noise. Right behind you, I have another clip here from body cam footage. Do you recognize this as being your body cam footage?
Yes.
And again, this would have body cam footage taken on the date of the incident with Mr. Johnson and his field sobrieties. That's, you're gonna may play for the jury.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm not gonna do it, but feet together. Okay, no, yeah, now we get to that. Okay, all right. Keep your hands at your sides, feet together. Okay. Mm-hmm. More contacts at all? No. Okay, no more with glasses. No glasses. Okay. So all I'm having to do is gonna focus. Tip of my finger again. Tip of my finger only. Can you see it fine? Yes. Okay, I want you to focus on the tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Keep your head still. Follow the tip of my finger with just your eyes. Okay, do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to keep this left? Just until I move my fingers. Right? Move my finger on. The one thing ain't glad with it. I ain't drink. Until I say we're done. All right. So keep your hands at your sides, all right? Yes. So now we're gonna do?
Okay, Trooper, now, again, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the test that you ran with Mr. Johnson, the HGN test?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And people would move to admit people's proposed exhibit number 3, that being this particular part of that body cam, that being the HGN.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, any objects? Admit it.
Thank you. Now, Trooper, we did get to see the video essentially of what you saw. I think you're a little higher up with your eyes because your camera's on your chest, but in this video in particular, did you see Mr. Johnson's eyes jerking?
Yes.
And is that how you were able to establish that those 6 clues were met for impairment?
Yes.
Did you conduct any other tests?
I did.
And what was the next test you conducted?
Standardized field sobriety test next to the, what we call the walk turn.
Now, what is the walk and turn for those of us who don't know?
Like to give instructions.
Sure.
So you have to give direct instructions, not only verbalized instructions, formal. So where they can observe the instructions, they can also comprehend the instructions by telling them out loud.
So I'm gonna stop right there for one moment. So with Mr. Johnson's case in particular, did you demonstrate this walk and turn test to Mr. Johnson?
I did.
Did you also explain to him separately what you wanted him to do?
Yes.
And did Mr. Johnson state to you that he understood what you were asking him to do?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So the instructions I normally give, I would tell someone to put the right foot in front of their left toe, the right heel, touching the tip of their left toe. And I want them to stand with their hands at the sides, being like that, and I don't my instructions. And then I ask them, do they understand? Say yes, then we move on. And then after that, tell them as you are right now, with your right foot in front of your left, your toe, hands at your sides. I want you to take 9 heel to toe steps on an imaginary straight line. While taking those 9 heel to toe steps, also want you to count your steps out loud. Once you start, don't stop. Then I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3. I do 3 steps. I tell them I did 3, I'm gonna do 9, and she gets 9. Take a series of small steps. I'll leave your front foot, whichever foot is in front on the line. Taking those series of small steps, doing so you're gonna return once again with 9 to the toe set.
And would these have been the instructions, Trooper, that you did give to Mr. Johnson? Okay. And what are you looking for in particular here through your training and experience? What are you looking for in any signs of impairment or not?
So we're looking for clues.
How many clues?
So total there are 8 clues.
And just for the sake of getting a little bit ahead, how many clues did Mr. Johnson present to you?
I observed 7 out of 8.
Okay, can you take us to those clues that you're looking for?
Yes, so there's an instructional phase of the walk and turn. You can observe 2 clues. With that, it's called cannot keep balance. Meaning when they go on that instructional phase where it has the right foot in front of the left heel to toe, hands at the sides, and once again, I ask you to understand. They acknowledge yes, then they move from that position, they keep going. So once again, the instructional phase begins with clues that you can observe 2 of them. 2 out of it starts too soon. When somebody begins the test before you allow them to, if they're not forced to, or cannot be balanced, means they're unstable.
And did you witness any of these clues with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, I witnessed both. Starts too soon and cannot.
Understood. And can you take us through the rest of those clues?
The rest of the clues I observed, there can be 6 remaining clues out of total. I observed steps offline, stops walking and steady so. Uses his arms for balance. It does not touch heel to toe. Lastly, an improper turn. The only one not observed. They was wrong. Correct.
Now, through your experience of conducting this test, because someone misses, let's say, one of the 7 clues, does it necessarily mean that they are not impaired? Thank you. Now, did incredibly good this time, so we didn't have the noise. Looking behind you again. Would this have been your body cam the day or the night of the incident in question with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
You, and this again would have been on December the 20th of 2023?
Yes.
Thank you. Connor, may I play this video for the jury?
Yes.
So now we're gonna do, I want you to put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe, okay?
Right foot, hold on.
That one.
Huh? No, you said right foot.
Yep.
Okay,
So your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. See how mine are? Keep your hands at your sides, not in your pockets, okay? I want you to remain like that until I'm done with my instructions, okay? You okay?
no, it's just since I'm a kid,
So put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. You're gonna keep your hands at your sides. It's in that little pouch back there. So right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. Keep your hands at your sides. You're gonna remain like that until I'm done, okay? Go ahead and do that now for me. Keep your hands at your sides. Stay like don't move, okay? You understand that? So if you watch me, as you are right now, okay, with your left foot down, right there, your right foot in front, heel to toe. Yep. Keep your hands at your sides, okay? I want you to take 9 heel to toe steps in a straight line, okay? I want you to count your steps out loud, so you gotta be quiet for me to explain it, okay? You're talking, I can't explain it, you can comprehend, okay? Oh, for me, all right? Your left foot down, your right foot in front, heel to toe, keep your hands at your sides. I want you to take 9 little toe steps, imaginary straight line this way, okay? I want you to count your steps out loud, all right? I want you to stop outside. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Once you get to 9, I want you to leave that front foot planted, and I want you to take a series of small steps, and I want you to return again with 9 heel to toe steps, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, I see you do it. That's all I'm asking. It's not for me to do. I'm not an investigation. I play one time. Okay. I just instructed. Okay. Dead to the side. So you already standing high. You can stand. Okay. So no, but you want me to stand like that, and you ain't even move there. You can't do that. Stand off the knees. Okay. Hold on. As instructed, you're supposed to stand. I can do that. But listen. Instructor, you're already not doing what I told you to do. Your right foot should be touching your left heel right now, okay? Your hand should be at your side. So that's already an indicator to me, okay? Okay, all right. So keep your hands at your side. Do you understand those instructions I just gave you? Okay? Is that one? Is that your right foot touching your left toe? Is it right? To the left. Yes, okay, so as instructed, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Yes. Now, okay, I'm doing that. Okay. 1. I ain't anywhere yet. 1, 2, 3. Right. As instructed. As instructed. And then do it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 8, 9. All right.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the field sobriety test, the walk and turn that you did with Mr. Johnson on December the 20th? Thank you, Your Honor. The people have moved to admit this exhibit, people's proposed exhibit number 4, that being the walk and turn video with the body cam.
Okay. Any objection?
Nick.
Admit it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Trooper, we did just see, essentially, really put your words into visual here with this video here, but things that we were able to see, obviously your body cam is a little higher up here, so we can't necessarily see everything, but what we could see, could you just take us through again what you noticed that was in this video that we saw?
First I noticed Mr. Johnson could follow the instructional phase. So very apparent that 2 fluids were readily available when it starts soon and cannot keep balance. After asking if he wanted me to repeat the instructions at all, did he understand them? He said he did understand the instructions. Continue right away after stepped offline. Immediately use his arms for balance. Then he stopped walking and steadied himself. He also doesn't touch heel to toe as instructed. And
All right. Here's the situation. I messed up here. I thought this was a soft sit. It's not. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go over to the verdict here.
Okay. So we wanted to wait your arrival. You can be seated. Thank you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the record with this matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Thomas Johnson. My understanding is that the jury has reached a verdict in this matter. Who's the 4th person? Could you please stand? Okay, and that would be Mr. Frank Lapierre. Mr. Lapierre, could you hand the verdict form to? Where's the instructions in there?
Yes.
Would you please read the verdict? Start from the top where it says, we, the jury, and
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Thomas Aaron Johnson, guilty of operating while intoxicated.
all right, thank you so much. Would anyone like to jurors poll?
the people do not.
That means asking them individually. Okay, all right. So we'll grab the verdict form back from you, Mr. Lapierre. And what I want to say is thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attentiveness in this manner. You were very attentive. You listened and you deliberated and you
wasn't it?
ultimately found in favor of what the prosecution requested. But this process would not have worked if you had not done your job and done it admirably. So we really appreciate that. And what we're going to do is release you from your jury service today. You will also be getting your jury service check in the mail. And also you will get a juror certificate in the mail as well. I'm going to ask you to wait for me. I will be right back to speak with you in just a few moments. And the prosecutor may choose to come back and talk as well. So thank you again for your jury service, and we will release you back to your waiting jury chambers back there.
Yes, the prayer circle
Yeah,
will
you go.
commence at that time. All right.
And now the record shall reflect that each of our jurors, including the alternate, have just stepped out of the courtroom now. The court is going to enter this as a judgment of guilty by jury. What we'll have to do next is request a pre-sentence report for you now, Mr. Johnson. So we're going to send you down to the probation department like tomorrow when you come to pay your fine for the ticket. You'll go down to probation, tell them that you need a pre-sentence interview scheduled. They will schedule you a date for that so that they can interview you. That's a background report, and they will do an alcohol assessment test as well. Don't miss that interview because we can't sentence you without the report. Then we're going to give you a date to come back to me for the actual sentencing. And I'll use the report, the alcohol assessment, and any other information that you'd like to submit to me to determine what the sentence should be.
I have, to go to Lansing today to finish his job.
Day.
Later, can I do it at a later time, like next week sometime?
So you can't go tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
Well, I thought you were going to pay your fine tomorrow. That's what you said.
No, it's only a civil infraction.
Okay, well, you need to call them tomorrow.
What?
Call them and say that you're out of town on a job, but you need to schedule a PSI, pre-sentence interview for your case. And they'll give you a date for that. Our sentence date is going to be
Court available April 15th at 9:30.
April 15th at 9:30 a.m.
All right, I've had enough of that nonsense. Oh my God, I don't even have the right backdrop on. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. Let me fix that right now. We're on Vlog Talk with Mike here, people. Okay, so here's this won't be interesting. I can tell you right now, this won't be interesting, but I'll give you an insight into my sad, pathetic life. Okay. So I'm streaming the soft sit on the other channel. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the sound wasn't very good. Alyssa's like, hey, I got a great soft sit. And I'm like, great. Well, I'm streaming, so I can't do anything with it. So as soon as I get done, I ask Zach, the superhero. I said, Zach, can you get this for me? Actually, it was during the stream. And he hunts all this stuff down. And that's what I was using. Because whatever. I know that room, they take the videos down right away, so you can't wait. So I'm like, all right, I'm a little tired from doing this this trial, but you know, let's do it. It's another stuff said, you know, it can't be bad. Yeah, Alyssa punked me. It's outrageous. So I grab it. Zach grabs it. Thanks again, Zach. Law Nerds Unite. Go check it out. Anyway, and I start streaming it, and I'm like, this is kind of fun. He's got a white suit on. His name's Johnson. But he didn't say anything soft sit. And he's just garden variety dopey. Like he wasn't like entertainingly stupid. He just isn't an attorney and wasn't doing a very good job, but you know, nothing crazy. So then I realized, okay, I'm on I've got like 3 more hours of this stuff. And this is just a garden variety DUI. So I had to pull out of this deal. I was all out of Johnson jokes. They're so hard to come up with, too. You know? So that's what we had. It was still fun. It was still fun, but I just thought, we don't need to do another hour and a half of this if he's not going to say any crazy stuff. So there you have it. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. I will see you all soon.